Greetings, dear listener, and welcome back for the third chapter of Twilight Abridged. Bella woke up and bitched about the snow again. Charlie had already gone, and Bella had breakfast. Taking time to contemplate how she already had a crush on Edward, she then bitched about their conversation, like she bitches about everything else. And then she spends a good bit of thought about her shallow attraction to him. She drove to school, bitching about how the boys were unrealistically attracted to her, and briefly touches on her vapid discounting of Mike and Eric as actual people who had been genuinely nice to her. When she got to school, she noticed that her truck had chains on the tires to help with the lack of traction, and actually took a moment to realize that her dad actually cared about her. But this would be soon forgotten, as a loud noise returned her to the reality that she bitched about so much. Edward, who had been stalking her, watched her from across the parking lot as a van sped toward her. Then Bella closed her eyes instead of jumping out of the way, like a retard. Edward tackled her, causing her to hit her head, and the van stopped because Edward is Superman. Then he told her that he'd been beside her the whole time. She looked into his eyes and forgot the entire conversation. People showed up and managed to get them out, everyone being so concerned about Edward and Bella because Myra wants to make sure you know how special they are. And Tyler, the poor kid who was driving the van, was completely ignored. For a moment, Bella tried to get an explanation of what happened from Edward, but instead was satisfied with an "I'll tell you later." Charlie showed up with the EMTs, worried that Bella had been hurt, as any caring father would be, but she was annoyed by this. Then they all went to the hospital with her, because Bella is so special. To further illustrate how special she is, Myra had everyone take Bella to the emergency room even though she didn't have any injuries beyond a slight headache. Tyler, whom everyone had ignored, was severely injured and put into a hospital bed. However, even though he had the shit beaten out of him from the impact, and Bella was obviously just peachy, he was nice enough to apologize. Everyone ignored Tyler and had Bella x-rayed. Despite that her being fine was more than obvious at this point, they wanted to keep her as long as they could, and Bella bitched because Tyler was sorry for the accident. Edward then showed up and ignored Tyler's attempt at an apology. We are now introduced to Carlisle, the guy claiming to be Edward's father. Carlisle went over the charts because Myra wanted it to be absolutely clear that Bella hadn't been injured in the slightest, and told Bella to take the rest of the day off, even though she doesn't do anything but bitch, which she did anyway. Bella was then allowed to go home. Poor Tyler, however, was far too injured to do anything besides lay in his bed. Carlisle paid him a little attention, as he was obligated to do so due to being a doctor. But then Bella stole the spotlight again, so as to have a private bitch fest with Edward. Bella claimed that she was owed an explanation, even though she hadn't done anything to deserve one. Edward mocked her a bit, making fun of her and telling her that she had only imagined his super special awesomeness, then left. Charlie showed up, still concerned, but Bella bitched about it. Then Charlie told her that she had to let her mom know that she was okay, and Bella bitched about that too. Bella's mom was quite distraught, as would any mother who had a daughter nearly crushed by a van, but this only made Bella bitch more. That night, Bella went to bed and had wet dreams about Edward. Thank you for listening, and join me again for the next installment of Twilight Abridged. Brought to you by the good people of TwilightSucks.com. Twilight sucks because intelligence matters.